What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the support on the last video that I uploaded. That's basically episode 1, the introduction that my wife and I are finally going to build a house on the property right here that I'm standing on that we purchased back in September of 2023. Today, this video is essentially the first update, or I guess episode 2 of that, because about 2 weeks ago, present time of me filming this video, we had our home site visit with the builders, right? So basically, for the past 3 months, we've been building a house kind of with the sales team of the home builder. And you know, when you're building a house, you're basically just building the house, right? Now in CAD and everything like that, that is assumed that you're going to be having a perfectly flat and level lot, right? Well, I live in Western Pennsylvania. There's no such thing as a perfectly flat level lot. So they schedule a home site visit so the actual construction team could come out on your lot. A, make sure that your site's buildable. B, position your house, plot your corners, all that fun stuff. C, shoot all the grades to see what kind of adjustments they might have to make to your house since it's not level, and so on and so forth. We also met with the excavators and got their scope of work, got their quotes, got a septic quote, all that fun stuff. So this is literally the update of that. So I wish I was able to film this video like the day of or the day after we actually did the home site visit, because there are a lot of things that I actually kind of forgot. Not important necessarily to the house itself. The construction team has all that, but like the stuff I want to portray to you guys. It's been about 2 weeks. Like I said, the weather here's been absolutely crazy, super cold, and there was a bunch of snow here literally like 3 days ago. So first day that I had off that I could actually get out here and show and share with you guys what we did. So we all came out here, we looked at everything. The lot is in fact buildable. It is cleared enough that we can actually put a house here, of course. If not, the excavation team could do that, but that would cost a lot more money, which we already got that part done, which is good. The biggest thing is we did position the house where we want it to be. We did mark the 4 corners, which I will go over that stuff with you here in a second, and I'll show you kind of what we did, where it's at on the property and stuff like that. And then basically, we made the necessary adjustments to the house because my lot is not perfectly level. We got about a 4% grade, which is fine because it allows us to have a full walkout basement, but now that is actually more money on the house itself because you have to change the footer up, you got to add frost wall back there, we have to make an adjustment because the garage is going to need more concrete underneath of it because now it's further sticking out of the ground. Like, there was a bunch of things that we had to make adjustments to. And then, like I said, we had the excavators out here because they're in charge of like clearing the rest, which is pretty much clear. They're in charge of getting the driveway to the house because the driveway that I have here is okay, but it's not going to be the permanent driveway to go into the house. So they have to do that and get it built up, and it has to be able to withstand concrete trucks and stuff. So I have to have them do that. They're going to be in charge of doing all the final grading and everything at the end, which I'll show you that. And then they're going to be in charge of also doing all of the, digging and stuff like that for the utilities. So either way, like I said, the first thing, the most important thing is we staked out the 4 corners of the house. Let me show you that. So the most important step of this is kind of like the driveway, right? We are going to use the current driveway that I have to an extent, right? This is all going to go away and become a front yard, so all that needs to be cleared. But the driveway is going to come in, and it's going to have to get pretty built up because we did decide to put the house driveway in this way. You're going to drive in, and boom, you can see a stake right there. So driveway is going to come in, and this stake here is the exact corner of the garage, the corner of the house. So that stake all the way down to this little, kind of hard to see, but that pink marking in the yard, basically I need a driveway that comes in, swoops in, and goes to here. And the important thing is, it's hard to see on camera, but this is not level. So the driveway itself is going to have to come up a solid like 2.5, maybe 3 feet to be level, right? So that's a big thing that the excavators have to do. So corner of the house there, right here. So that's basically my garage. And then if you take that same corner, basically you could go to here. And so that corner to the end over here to here, that's basically my garage. That's the big thing. We got to have a driveway in there. From here, which I know, I'm sorry, it's hard to see. It's been 2 weeks. It goes in to here. And then basically, so the house kind of indents in, goes this way, indents back out, goes to that corner. And then from that corner, it goes all the way down, basically square to that post. From that post, it basically goes all the way down square as well to that post. So they did mark my front door somewhere. Front door, I can't see it right now, but my front door is basically right here in line with the bulldozer currently. So basically what that gives me, there's that corner stake. There's that corner stake, goes back to that stake, all the way over there. Basically what that gives me, the house is about 70 feet wide and 48 feet deep. Now there is going to be a front porch, there's going to be a back porch, but what that leaves me with, 88 feet from the front of the house all the way to the road. And that leaves me, I didn't measure, but it leaves me a pretty good backyard as well, because I have a lot of backyard that way. So, you know, we did push the house pretty far over this way. Right now with that tree line, I probably only have maybe 30, 40 feet before trees. However, my yard actually goes pretty far that way. My yard actually goes closer to that house than you think it would. So I could keep clearing that way. But the big thing was, where the driveway and everything's going to be, this all open area is going to be current yard, right? Where the truck and my dump trailer is parked right now, I am going to bring a driveway in that way to do trailer parking. And the nice thing is, I own 3 acres that way. So I could keep clearing trees and making my yard bigger as much as I want to that way. Put a pool building down there, chicken coops, sheds, whatever. Like this container is going to end up somewhere down there, because right now it's kind of in my front yard. Like we have a lot of changes that need to be made. And then hard to see, but they do have like a dot right there, right? So from the corner of the house, it is going to be built up a little bit. The grade from the house is going to have to go down to that point to keep the water running away from the house. And then from there, we could grade all of this, right? And it's the same way. I lost the point over here, but same thing. From the driveway, it's going to have to come down to keep the water going away from the house to a certain point. Then we can do what we want. And that's going to be, of course, on all corners of the house to make sure water goes away from the house and not into the house. The biggest thing to all of that is we had to see what all this is going to add to my house building. And it added a little bit more than I thought it was going to, but it is what it is. So basically, for the house builder to make all the necessary adjustments to get the house and get the footer and, you know, get the foundation in properly with my grade and the issues that it may or may not have, it was $8,000. I'm going to use rough numbers because it just makes it easier. So basically the house itself just got $8,000 more right there. The excavators, who are going to be in charge, like I said, of all the grading, of the utilities, of putting my driveway in, stuff like that, that quote came in at $12,500. And honestly, a lot of it's driveway, just because we need like 40 tons of shale and 40 more tons of 4A. And so that came in at $12,500. The well that I'm putting in is also going to be $12,500. And then my septic system, because we don't have access to anything public, is $26,000. So if you add all that up, basically the home site visit just added $59,000 to my house. So basically $60,000 just got added to my house 2 weeks ago. So the past 2 weeks, we've just been, that stuff's locked in now. We're just going back and forth with the sales team just to finalize all the final details of like what we want in the house, what we want to pay for, what we don't want to pay for, and just figuring that stuff out, right? Going back and forth with the bank. So probably within the next week or two. Now this week is Christmas, the next week's New Year, so it might be, the first or second week of January. That's when we should have every single number completely narrowed down. If we want to go forward with it, we'll send that to the bank, and as long as we get approved, which we already got pre-approved, so we should be fine. At that point, we could start with selections, right? We'll start picking out floors, picking out sidings, picking out cabinets, all that fun stuff. Now, the guy at the home site visit said, traditionally, once you have your home site visit, as long as everything else goes well, they typically start digging 4 months from your home site visit. So our home site visit was mid-December. So if everything goes to plan and we don't have any holdups one way or the other from the bank, from us, from the builders, we should ideally start digging a house in April. But it's not just that easy, because most of that excavation stuff has to be done beforehand. I got to have a driveway in ASAP. I got to get everything cleared where the electric's going to go, like the electric pole for the the electric of the house, right? So there's a lot of stuff that we're going to have to do before they start digging, and basically it's just going to be site prep. So that is all the things that I still want to keep you guys involved in, right? So, you know, this won't be the last video for 4 months until we build, because there is going to be stuff happening here before we build, right? The biggest thing is going to be a driveway. There's going to be a legitimate driveway in, and some excavation stuff here. So I think that covers about everything. Yeah, I think that's about everything. And I actually came here. I wanted to come here about 4 hours earlier than I did, because I wanted to start clearing where the telephone pole is going to go, or the electrical pole is going to go. And I wanted to start clearing my front yard out. However, I woke up, like I said, 4 hours too late. So I only have about an hour to be here, because I got some stuff to do today. So I'm probably just going to hop on a tractor and keep feeding this fire from all the random wood and stuff I have literally all over the place. So I'm probably just going to try to sit here, feed this fire till I got to go. So hopefully this video serves some kind of purpose. In my head it did, at least. The home site visit is done. The house, the 4 corners are staked. Oh yeah, that's what I did forget. So from here, I also have to work on getting permits. So I got to go get a septic permit, and I got to get all these permits done, right? And then also I got to get this land re-surveyed. So I need an updated survey, because this property hasn't been surveyed since 2015 when it was first subdivided. So I got to get the house surveyed and stuff like that, like the land surveyed, and get that drawn up on a map and submitted to the township to make sure we could actually put the house where we want to. Stuff, a bunch of legal BS. So that's kind of my next steps that I got to get working on. But until then, this is episode 2. This is the update. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you think I missed something and you know, this is a work in progress. Like, I'm used to shooting videos on trucks. I'm pretty good at that. The house stuff is new to me, so apologize if I miss stuff and if I'm not very informative at all. Hopefully that will get better with time. So like the video if you haven't already, subscribe, join the house build, because this is going to be quite interesting. And see you guys next video. Peace.